That's a honeysuckle there that grows up the wisteria, and you can see it's the honeysuckle's just leafing up. That's the wisteria, all cut back. Up there. And that rose is the Pilgrim. It's a David Austin rose, and it comes from down there. And you can see it's starting to shoot out. Right, we'll walk around. That's still the Pilgrim, but Mme Alfred Carriere runs into it. Mme Alfred Carriere starts there and goes up and up and up. Anyway, we'll come to that. That's a Pearl d'Azur clematis growing out of a tub. This is Open Arms, lovely little pink climber, repeat flowering, grows in this tub down here. Let's walk back. So it's shooting very nicely everywhere. So that should be okay. That's still the Mme Alfred Carriere. I'll show you from the garden in a minute. It's over there as well. A few bits and pieces in the greenhouse. Right, we'll walk on. Oh, got some nice daffodils there. Now this is Ghislaine or Ghislaine de Feligonde. Not very old, a couple of years old or so. That's shooting nicely. See how it does. Every rose is different, so you have to get to know your roses. They all will respond in different ways. This is Golden Showers. As you can see, that's shooting out nicely. That's another Pearl d'Azur clematis, and in the background that's a Hydrangea petiolaris, which is here as well. You can see the buds. Anyway, this is still the Golden Showers. Up there is part of the Red New Dawn, which starts down there and it grows up, and you can see all the shoots coming on it. That's coming along quite nicely. It's up there as well, and up there. That actually is the one of the Mme Alfred Carriere. Comes along to about that window, and then from there on it's the other Mme Alfred Carriere, which you can see has been cut back. Could cut it back further, probably will next year, and that actually starts down there. I'll come to that in a minute. This rose here is the Generous Gardener, David Austin rose. Hasn't been in there long. I had a rambling rose in there which used to do very nicely, lovely pink rose, but it flowered once and then after that just made an awful lot of mess, so I got rid of it. That's coming on really nicely, so we'll see how that does this year. It's only a young rose. Anyway, that's the base of the Mme Alfred Carriere. As you can see, it's quite big, but that's been there, I think it's 2009, but I'll write it in the write-up. As you can see, it's Mme Alfred Carriere all the way along the wall, and it goes around the corner there as well. And I'll show you that when we get around the other side. So as I say, that's the Ghislaine de Feligonde, and we'll walk on. This is pink flower carpet. I only pruned that back about a week ago, so that'll soon come to life. That's a procumbent. That is climbing iceberg, and that starts down here. It doesn't do that well, but it does give us flowers. You can see I've got a flowering quince there, still got some old quince on the plant, and the flowers are just about to come. This down here is a blush noisette, and that grows up here and up here, all the way up here. You can see how it's shooting out nicely. Shooting out nicely. So that's that. Over there is a rural England. That's a Peter Beals rose. And next door there is actually a rambling rosy, and that actually sort of grows into it a bit as well. So that's nice. Here I have an old blush china, and that's a funny rose, most peculiar. It flowers continuously. It'll be the first one to flower, but it's a very delicate sort of rose. Anyway, let's move on. I'll have a look down the garden. Apple trees all pruned back. Right, let's move over here. Here we have another rural England. Again, as I say, a Peter Beals rose. That's all shooting out nicely. Comes from down there. Struggled to get going initially, but it's sort of getting going now, so that's good. This one is called Times Past. It's a lovely rose when it flowers, but although it's supposed to repeat, it only, well, it might and it might not. Depends how it feels. I moved it. Here we've got a For Your Eyes Only. I only pruned that about a week ago, so there won't be any shoots on that just yet. And just back there is a Phyllis Bide. It's only a young rose, doesn't see much sun, comes from down there. There is another one over there, so hopefully they will grow up onto this pergola. I mean, this is the Phyllis Bide, it is there. So that's that. And we move down here, and down there we have Altissimo, and that grows up here, along here. This is Altissimo, and yes, it's starting to bud up, or shoot rather. I've got it here, down here. This rose is called Summertime. Quite a vigorous rose. Has yellow flowers, little yellow flowers, and you can see it's starting to shoot. It's up in there as well, along there, up there. You can see it shooting, so that's good. And it comes from down there. There's actually there's a young golden showers over the back there, but there's not much point in looking at that at the moment. This one is called Queen's Jubilee. That's a Peter Beals rose as well. It's a sort of a shrub rose, so it's not terribly happy there because it's a bit crowded out, but there we go. This rose here is blush noisette, and you can see that's shooting out all over the place. That comes from down there, so that's shooting, and that repeats really well, and it smells nice. I like that rose. I've got two of them. And oh yeah, through there, that's a little Harlow Carr. That's a David Austin rose. Quite how it's going to do, I don't know. It's struggling to get going. It's sort of in its second year. Anyway, we'll see. This is Aloha. Smells beautiful, and you can see it shooting out very nicely. So that should do okay this year. I have to be careful with the roses because the mice like them. When they get to this sort of stage, and especially this rose here, this is a compassion. And once the shoots get to about 2 inches long, the mice just love them, and they particularly like roses that have red shoots, and they just nip them off. And I know it's mice because I catch them, and then the problem stops. So if ever you get buds getting nipped off, think about mice. This is New Dawn. Starts down there, grows up here, goes onto this pergola, up there, along there. So we'll walk along there and have a look. So this is New Dawn. You see I should cut it back. It does repeat, but it's a bit slow having its second showing. This rose here is one called Nice Day. It's a sort of a patio climbing rose.